I'm Jammer, and welcome back to another Animal Crossing New Horizons video. The winter update's been out for a little while now. Of course, we've already celebrated Turkey Day, and Toy Day is right around the corner. At the end of that announcement trailer, there was, of course, the announcement the next free update is scheduled for late January, showing the character icon of Pavé, the host of the Festivale festival. This in-game holiday lines up perfectly with the in-real-life holiday of Mardi Gras, because like how in real life that date changes around, it also changes in Animal Crossing. The date of the holiday ranges throughout February into the first couple of weeks of March, and in 2021 happens to land on February 16th. So this makes a lot of sense that this update will be coming out late January, basically a week or so right before this holiday will come out. So that's what we're going to do today. Go over how this holiday was handled in series past, and then make an accurate prediction to see how it might be handled here in New Horizons. But before we get started, if you are new here, perhaps consider subscribing. See how happy Mr. YouTube here is dancing? That's because it turns out 29% of you who watch my videos are subscribed. So let's keep that momentum going. So subscribe if you're new. You can expect tons more on Animal Crossing New Horizons, and we are getting so close to that 100,000 subscriber milestone. I am so excited, and I could not be more grateful of all of your amazing, amazing support. So thanks for listening to that. I know it can be kind of annoying sometimes. Without further ado, let's get started. I think a great place to start is to first go back to City Folk, where this holiday was first brought to the Animal Crossing series. Pavé is a fabulous peacock, and on the day of Festivale, confetti will constantly fall from the sky. It's up to you, the player, to collect candy for Pavé, which you can trade into him to get items of his furniture set. In order to get candy, what you do is you walk around your town to the villagers who are running outside, and you can play little mini games with them. If you win, you'll win a piece of candy. If you lose, you'll either have to fork over some of your candy, or if you have none, give them a handful of bells. This is actually really fun, where there's a lot of different mini games you can play that are all based using dialogue and such, and I'll go through a couple right here. One game is Imaginary Soccer, where basically your villager will narrate an imaginary game of soccer talking about how they're going to be approaching you at the goal, you getting ready and stuff, and it's up to you to kind of just randomly guess which way you're going to jump to block their shot. And then when it's your turn to go, you'll then basically choose left or right again to choose which way you want to kick the ball, hoping that they won't block it. It's all just a random chance thing, but it's actually really fun and well written. I really enjoyed this dialogue sequence. Another game you can play is Rochambeau, otherwise known as Rock, Paper, Scissors. All the same rules apply, you just barely pick from a line of dialogue options which one you want to choose, and it's best 2 out of 3. Another game is Coin Toss, where you actually have to get all 3 coin toss guesses in a row. Again, it's a totally random chance if you just pick heads or tails and you just gotta hope for the best. If you only get 1 or 2 in a row and you fail on the following one, unfortunately you lose, you have to get all 3. Another game they play is Guess What Hand. They basically will hold their hands out in front of you and you have to guess which hand holds the candy. If you guess the correct one, you'll actually get it, otherwise they'll take one of yours. The last game they can play is a Psychic ESP test, where they basically test your quote-unquote psychic knowledge, where they will imagine a shape or a fruit, and you, the player, have to kind of just guess which one that they're imagining. If you, of course, win, you'll get a piece of candy. Of course, all these mini games are just random chance. There's no skill involved, but it is a lot of fun to like talk to a bunch of your villagers, interact with them, play tiny little like dialogue mini games with them, and you can actually get physical rewards by getting these candy that you can then go trade into Pavé to get the furniture set for this holiday. Now let's jump over to New Leaf, where the holiday remained very similar to what it was in City Folk. Villagers in this one instead actually dress up wearing feathered headdresses and stuff to make it more feel like a more sanctioned holiday. However, instead of candy, it's up for the player to find feathers to catch with their net. Feathers will fall from the sky, like how here in New Horizons during like cherry blossom season, during the fall when the leaves were falling around, even kind of like the snowflakes now during the winter. But here in Festivale, these feathers are kind of hard to see because of the confetti falling from the sky, which is also kind of like, you know, the cherry blossom festival where those constant cherry blossoms are falling. It'll be the same with all the confetti falling, so it's a little bit harder to spot these out. And like what you did with candy in City Folk, you instead here trade in the feathers to get the furniture set. You can get most of the feathers just running around your island if you're lucky enough, but if you want to get specific colors, because Pavé does request specific colors in order to continue to make progress in the holiday, you can also talk to villagers around town, and some of the mini games do return here. A little bit less than City Folk's catalog, but nonetheless, we'll go through them here. Rochambeau, otherwise known as Rock, Paper, Scissors, does return. It's basically the same thing we barely talk about. A new game called Charades is introduced in this holiday, where basically the villager will act out something using their emotions, and you'll get 4 options as the player to guess what they are. They'll either be like an animal or like a type of person, like a clown, for example. You kind of have to guess from how they're reacting to what role they might be pretending to be. other game they can play is called Made You Look, where basically you have to guess which way the villager is going to turn their head, and you have to try to turn your head at the same time. So it'd be like on the count of 3, turn your head, and if you pick left and you hope the other villager also picks left, and you both pick it the same way, then you can win a feather. These are cute and fun, but I honestly think the minigames in City Folk were better handled, but I do think using feathers rather than candy is more suiting this holiday. So anyways, that brings us now to Animal Crossing New Horizons. And I think, like other holidays we've already seen in the past, I could see them taking a lot of inspiration from not only these older games, but more specifically, a lot from New Leaf. I think the raining of confetti as well as the feathers floating around in town very easily could return here in New Horizons, and matter of fact, those new feathers could totally be the new crafting material that is required to craft the Pavé set. Since this update is going to be coming out a few weeks before Festivale, it could be a similar case to Egg Day where maybe you can start to collect some feathers here and there in prior preparation to the holiday, or it could still be like the other holidays we've been having recently where they're basically just celebrated on the day of the holiday. I think the minigames we've seen in both previous titles could easily return with villagers and be a way to get the specific feathers you're looking for by playing different games and such, and I think this is going to be a really great feature to include because, like we've talked about plenty times before, villager interactions have been kind of lacking in this game compared to others in the series past, so I feel like giving a lot of brand new dialogue options, playing these games with your villagers stuff is going to be a really fun and memorable experience. I can't wait to play like imaginary soccer with Sterling, or do a coin toss with Apple or something. I think it's going to be just a lot of fun. And of course, it goes without saying, the villagers will of course be dressed up in costumes, just like they've been in every single holiday so far. They'll of course be dressed in feathers and dresses and other fun, colorful outfits. At the end of the day, when it comes to these mini games and getting feathers and stuff, it is just a random chance whether you win or not, and it can be rather annoying sometimes if you keep getting on a losing streak and losing all the feathers or candy you've had, but that's kind of just how it's been. I really do think it's going to be very similar to what we've already seen with the previous 2 holidays. I don't know if I expect too much brand new being added to this holiday, beyond of course using feathers as the new crafting material for these new Festivale crafting recipes. The reason I'm leaning toward that is because, well, there really hasn't been much time since the previous update and this one. It's just a smaller time frame to, you know, make this holiday and everything. So I do think that it's very likely that this next update will probably be just this new holiday. And the other evidence I think that's going to be the case is because let's look forward now to the next update that'll be in Animal Crossing New Horizons. I mentioned before, and many of you know as well, in the February Direct before the game came out, they talked about the new updates coming to the game where they announced a bunch of holidays that'll be coming along. They've showed off faces for Franklin and Turkey Day, Jingle and Toy Day, Jack and Halloween, and of course, Pavé and Festivale. So what I'm trying to say, this upcoming update is going to be the last update that they announced in advance that we knew about going into this game. However, there still is one other one that they did talk about in the Mario Anniversary Direct, where they announced, of course, the 3D All-Stars remake, and that was the fact that some new Mario items is going to be coming to New Horizons in March of next year. Likely, if we had to make a prediction, it might be around March 10th, because that's considered Mario Day that Nintendo often celebrates, so it would make a lot of sense if that's when the next update's gonna be. I don't know how expansive the Mario update is going to be, whether it is just a quick collection of furniture they throw on your Nook shopping app, or if it's going to be more of a sanctioned event in-game. The thing to point out, though, is that update is going to be pretty close to the anniversary of Animal Crossing New Horizons, so I could see them kind of bundling both in together as a bigger update to celebrate the year of this game being out, which is crazy, by the way. I can't believe it's been almost a year. After we get that update, that'll be the last update that we know about in advance, so that means with every following update trailer, we really won't know what to expect when the next update is going to be until they have that end card saying, hey, this is when the next update is going to be. Although even saying that, the same is still true of this next upcoming update. They'll probably end this next trailer with an end card saying, hey, look out in March for the new Mario update. But then after that, the sky's the limit. I couldn't be more excited to see what other new content they're going to bring to the game in year 2 of Animal Crossing New Horizons. But what are you most excited for with Festivale and future updates coming to Animal Crossing New Horizons? Definitely let me know that in the comments below. If you like this video, be sure to give it a big awesome like, and if you haven't already, definitely subscribe for tons more on Animal Crossing New Horizons. As a reminder, we do stream this game every weekend at 10 a.m. Eastern right here on YouTube Live. That's both Saturdays and Sundays. To keep up to date with everything we do in regards to the channel, be sure to follow my socials as well as join our community Discord. The link to that is in the description below. It's a great place to find friends to play Animal Crossing with and all that fun stuff. So thanks again guys so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. See ya!